Buddy, it's time for the tour, so come on in. Now right in front of me you see Lily, my dog, and she's ready to help us go on the tour, so you're going to probably see her throughout. Hopefully I won't trip over her. Right, Lil? Come on. So welcome to the main hallway of the house. Again, these are all many trees, all decorated like you're out in a forest with a little bit of snow on it. There's actually one real live tree, and it's this one right here. So people always ask me, are they all live trees? Like, no, I don't cut down 175 flat trees. I just do this particular one, and it's decorated really well. It's a beautiful snow tree, I think. So again, this is the main hallway of us. So again, are there going to be any questions or not really? Because that's only on Facebook.
No, actually, you may have some visitors come through. You do have 3 people following you at the moment, which is fantastic. I know,
like those 3 people.
and last year we had about 25,000 views last year. Yes.
And if you see this and you enjoy it, you're going to want to share it with your friends and family because it's really fun to share. Because people come here, if you're not feeling the holiday spirit, this will hopefully get you into the holiday spirit. Because again, we need that this time of year.
So you know what?
Yes,
why don't we
please.
start first? I know a lot of people always want to ask you, how did this start and why do you do it? So those are 2 separate questions.
Okay, the first thing is I started probably 25 years ago, just a couple of trees. And then every year I had like, I have another idea for a tree. And then I moved into this house, is much larger, so I was able to expand the collection. So this year you're actually going to go to the 3rd floor, which is totally decorated as well.
Okay, good.
Why did I start it? I think it's because I always loved Christmas. And I wanted to bring this back to people in our world. Because when I was a kid, I used to go to G. Fox and Company, which was a department store. And I used to remember it being so magical to go there and see all the lights and all the displays and all the Christmas stuff. And it really stayed with me. And I think that doesn't exist. You only have the mall Santa now. So this is my way of bringing kind of an old-fashioned Christmas to young and old. So whoever visits the house at Christmas, they just really feel a lot better. I remember one year, the UPS guy, I said, come on in. And he hadn't been feeling the Christmas spirit. He came and he said, I really feel good now, so thank you. So that's why I'm doing this. And that's why I'm hoping you enjoy the tour today.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Where else do you want to take us?
Let's go into the living room. I'm going to try not to shoot my book. So, this is a more formal room. This is where you do live entertaining. There will be a fire here tonight because you have to have a fire on Christmas Eve, but it's a little early now. And these lights give off a lot of heat. So again, you're going to see all kinds of trees in here. You got nutcrackers. You got to have a sports tree for my sports maniacs, so it's all over there, every kind of sport imaginable. We got a tree just has a plethora of different types of ornaments. I do love the flock tree, and on my YouTube channel, I'm going to show you how to flock a tree. That's going to come later, though, because I ran out of time.
And the flock trees are these white ones,
Those are
like
the white
the one that is showing up right now.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We have a little bit of village this year. I'm going to be building actually something. I started doing it, but I ran out of time, shockingly. And that'll be coming for next year as well, and it's going to be a circular Christmas tree, and the villages will go on that. Now, if you look over here, you might see an animal and cat tree and dog tree and rabbit tree, and that's really important to honor the pets in your world because they bring us a lot of love. But I point that out.
And what's special about this tree?
Now, this is probably my favorite tree in the house because when somebody comes over for the Christmas holiday, I like to take their picture, and then I turn them into an ornament. So these are friends that have visited over the years, and a lot of special people have come, and also some of the people have passed over the years. So it's a real wonderful chance for me to then go honor them this year and remember them as they were a part of my life until they moved on. So it's a really lovely tree. And again, I'm a little behind on some people that have visited. So I've got a lot of ornaments to make. So that's going to happen. I will make it happen.
Okay, great. Good. And what is special about this tree?
This tree is really important at this time of chaos in our world. And it's a world tree, really, is what I call it. So it's ornaments from everywhere I've collected in the world. And it's also really about unity and peace at this time of year, because that's what it's really about. So every flag from around the world is on there, and I'm hoping one day we'll all have a good peace in our world, because that's what we need more than anything, as we all know.
Okay.
So it's a very special tree to me.
Great. Where else can you take us?
Oh, come on, let's keep going. Got all the stockings like normally. You got a little bit of moose action going on over there. But let's head out into the main hall. We're going to go into I call it the kids' room, because I want kids to come and enjoy themselves.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, we can. That's great.
Okay, so come on this way. So now we're entering kids' land.
Dun, da, da.
Now this is what I call like childhood fantasy,
Wow.
for me especially, because in here I have a couple of Rudolph trees, a Rudolph village. I love it's Charlie Brown Christmas, so there's a couple of Charlie Brown Christmas trees.
Okay, great. And
There's the village.
yeah, the village is fun.
It's got a few burned out lights. I will get to that.
Okay, great.
If you want to look over here, we just got different Charlie Brown trees, a little wreath action, some life-size figures.
And I heard that Lily is a poo fan. How are you getting to keep poo in one spot?
This is very dangerous because Lily loves poo more than anything. So this one's a little big for her, thankfully, because she does have her own poo that I just gave up and gave it to her, so it's hers forever and ever. Over here is the Year Without Santa Claus tree. It's a new tree this year.
Oh, fun.
That's a fun with Heat Miser and Cold Miser or whatever his name is, and you got all those
I
things.
should record the songs and you could push a button and people
That would
could
be an
hear it.
interesting way, yes, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
We got a Charlie Brown village there. We have Santa Claus is coming to town village as well. I like to do villages. Now my poor Scooby-Doo tree, the lights are off. I'm trying to figure out how to get that back on.
Uh-oh.
But that's a new tree for this year as well.
Right.
I've tried many things, but that's the problem with Christmas. Everything goes off and on, off and on, off and on. Got a new Rudolph wreath this year, which is kind of fun, and of course.
And a non-heat fire.
This is the best room to stay in the house because other rooms get way too hot, so we like this one.
Gotcha. Great.
So here's Frosty the Snowman.
And where are we headed to next?
We're going to head to the sunroom of the house, so come on this way. So again, we just got garland going all the way.
So how would you recommend for somebody who might want to do even a smaller collection? Where do they start?
Just start simply. And again, you're going to see, and I'll point some as we go along. For example, I don't buy all these ornaments because this is a Santa tree, because it's just too expensive. I'd go broke. These are $1.99, and all you do is glue a little bit on the back, and bam, you got an ornament. Because I could never afford this, all these ornaments. So I just look after the holidays. But I also just think, hey, you have a couple of Santa trees, make a little one. I mean, I'll sell an ornaments, make a little tree.
Great, good. I see some vintage Santas in the back. Now, how do you end up finding?
These are kind of fun because these I've seen in like junk stores. And that one is a friend of mine saw that they had in their house back in the 1930s and 40s. So again, those are probably from the 30s and 40s, and I like that kind of stuff. We've got all kinds of Santa trees in here, different colors. Lily's following us as well. Got to have a little green touch to kind of go things as well. It's one of my favorite items right here. And that's a little elf that came from the store called G. Fox. It was a department store in Connecticut and it went out of business. And that was in the display years ago. So one of my good friends, the Kogits, bought it for me. They found it at a tag sale or at an auction or something. And that was very sweet of them. So I like that. Friends are looking out for me.
Right.
Got a lot of Annalise, and my mom gave me these elves over the years, so I decided to put these up, and they're just kind of hanging on the garland. As you see, it's about, like 4:15 here in Connecticut, so it's still a little light out, but it's going to get dark very quickly. So let's head down to the dining room.
If you have any questions, please feel free to add them.
Yeah, I'd love to get some of your questions. I'd love to hear from anybody who's around the country, friends.
The world, last year, people from Australia. And if it's after the live feed, also feel free to write in questions. Mr. Christmas will answer them.
I love answering the questions. I love hearing from everybody at Christmas time. So come on into this room. So we're getting ready for Christmas Eve dinner tonight, so it's almost ready, because today's been a very busy day for everybody, I'm sure. Got a few new trees this year. This is what is, was the night before Christmas tree. So it's all things to celebrate the famous Clement Seymour poem. And then we got more Victorian tree, and Kathy Goodwin made all these for me this year, and they're just beautiful because I wanted to have kind of an old-fashioned tree. So those are beautiful. This is 12 Days of Christmas. You'll see all the different, drummers drumming and geese laying, and I never can remember the words. The ladies milking. They're doing something, I know. Because I live in Connecticut, this is an homage to Hartford, which is a landmark. Some of the landmarks from the town.
And let's just pause for a second. Obviously, old Christmas photographs, giving your age away on one of those photographs.
I'm 37.
Yes. So how did, obviously people could frame their old Christmas
I think that's
photos.
a great thing to do, and then put them out of Christmas, because, I'm getting a little older, a little grayer, but it still works. And this one's actually kind of special to me, because my dad in 1987 wrote a poem for us about Christmas. So I took pictures of my dad reading this to us at Christmas, and there's my mom at Christmas. And it was to read the poem every year, but he said he's going to buy me a Christmas ornament every year. My dad has since passed, and my mom has carried that tradition on. And that's a great tradition you might want to try with kids, is buy them one ornament a year that's very special to you, that then they'll have for the rest of their lives. They might pass that on as well.
And one thing about the Hartford tree, too, a lot of these ornaments are made by a
Local artist.
a local artist.
Yep.
And
You gotta love local artists and support them
so
with the holidays.
wherever you live, there might be local artists who are making, like this is the Wadsworth Athenaeum, and the Colt Building, the Travelers Tower. So there's the Phoenix two-sided building, which was very famous
Some
in
good architecture.
Constitution Plaza. So there could be obviously there would be other places in Cleveland and in LA and so forth that other artists are making their landmarks.
Right, absolutely. This is probably my favorite tree, in addition to the friendship tree, because this has some of the ornaments my dad started to give me before he passed away. And this is the very first one he ever gave me. And he died 3 years later. But my mom has carried on that tradition. And then I got this one the next year, something like that one. And then it goes on. So these are very special ornaments that people have given me over the years, or I purchased on holiday. So they're very breakable. This is true, but I don't want to knock over because I'll lose a lot of very favorite things. And I'm a teacher, so some of my students have given me things over the years. So they're on this tree as well, like theater. I teach theater. That's a surprise.
You do have a couple questions.
Oh, great.
One question is, how long does it take to put up all the trees?
Starts in October, and I just finished today. So we're talking about 2 months of intense work. But, you know, it's like 2 or 3 hours a night and then on weekends. But it's worth it because I really love people coming to see it. So, again, I had a party. I had people come all the time. I'm going to have a big open house. And I love little kids coming, and I love older people coming because I remember somebody in her late 90s came and said, this is the most beautiful thing she ever saw. And that just made my whole Christmas. It was worth the hundreds of hours of work for that moment. Again, because I don't sit there and just stare at it all myself. I want to share it.
Someone also asked, what's for dinner?
Oh, it's a beef tonight. It's going to be a good beef dinner. And then there's a lot of relatives coming, so there's going to be everybody's choice potatoes, broccoli, a mixture of carrots and broccoli. There's going to be traditional things, and there's going to be lots of desserts. And one's made my grandma used to make this icebox cake, which is really good, and that's kind of fun to bring grandma back. Got a lot of vintage ornaments in the house over here, which is kind of fun. And I like to put those out to display because they're probably about 70 years old now at this point. And I got them when I was a young person. And over on that side, it's kind of nice. So we have a poinsettia tree, and then there's a new tree I made this year. It's a peacock tree. I thought that was kind of fun to try something different colors, different. So all I did was get a little peacock for the top of it. So you got a little feathery, and I found these little things, and I just got. And these are plastic. You know, you don't have to get breakable ornaments because you know what happens. You break them. I break a lot of ornaments. So I tend to go towards plastic now because they do a really nice job with things as well. So that's something to keep in mind if you want to do trees like that. So that one you could actually wrap up and not have to, because a lot of these trees I have to take totally down. So that'd be one I might kind of wrap it up and just have them stored in the basement and then just bring it out next year.
So you brought up a good point. You actually are for most of what people are seeing today, you're disassembling.
Yeah, it takes 2 to 3 weeks to disassemble everything. But I do have a basement that I've organized totally, so everything goes into a box and has shelving, and the trees get put in a certain place, and it's a big job. And I do have friends who have come over and helped throughout this holiday season, and I'm hoping to trick some of them to come around and bring it all down as well. They don't need to know this yet.
No, that's right.
Right.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
Nobody listening should tell this.
And maybe someday you'll do a tour of the basement?
That's actually a good idea. I might even do a little segment on that because it's kind of a fascinating thing. Because actually, somebody was always says I've always wanted to go into your basement and see what it's like, and they saw what it's like. I did clean it this morning though, so it looks pretty good. This is the Christmas Carol tree because that's one of my favorite tales of redemption. You gotta love Scrooge, and you gotta think about doing things differently. Instead of having a tree topper, I have more of a Victorian hat. I add a tiny tin little crutch over here. Just think about doing your trees in a little different way. Don't think you have to just have a star, and you have to have ribbon, and you have to have bulbs on it. Think about other things you can. I have Annalie dolls on it, and I have little Scrooge things. I have all different things, little candles. The lights are out, but we're not going to look at them.
One question.
Yeah,
so how long do the trees stay up?
They'll stay up to the Three Kings Day.
And then how long does it take to take them down?
Just about 2 to 3 weeks. And it's not bad. It's actually, I'm kind of like really fast. I'm like, brrrr, because if they're not breakable, I kind of just put them in boxes and I wrap them up a little bit. They're breakable, it takes a lot more time. But that's why I'm leaning towards plastic now as I'm getting over the age of 30. I got to get in more.
Just slightly over 30.
Just slightly over. So we're heading into the cartoon kitchen in my house, but this is a Mickey and Minnie tree. And I just realized I haven't put these on. So we're going to put those on after. And then I do the new Pooh this year. New Pooh tree because I love Winnie Pooh. Of course, Lily steals my big Pooh, but she gets to keep that now. That's her toy. And then we head into the kitchen. Now, preparations are in full blown right now for dinner tonight. So it's looking like the kitchen should be at Christmas time. You shouldn't worry about having a mess because it's okay. So I have all this cartoon stuff up here, but probably the biggest thing I like to do is there's a kitchen tree. So these like kitchens, you can collect ornaments and put them on a little kitchen tree. If you look over here, I have a Warner Brothers tree with the Warner Brothers Village. I don't know why that's not on. Here's kids' favorite because this is a Disney tree, all Disney ornaments. So then you got to think outside of the box as well because right here, somebody gave me just a set of lights of the Pillsbury Doughboy, and actually they're not on, so I got a little work to do tonight. but they do light up. And I said, oh, let's make a little Pillsbury Doughboy tree for this kitchen. So that's kind of fun as well. So now we're going to head upstairs. There are 2 more floors, so come on up. So right along here are all little Christmas trees with all snowmen. As you're working your way up, you see all the snowmen.
So someone has asked,
Yes.
how many times have you blown fuses this?
You're going to probably see one fuse blown today because I'm going to have Allison here help me shut something off after I leave there because otherwise I'll blow it on the 3rd floor. So we don't want to go black tonight. So
During the tour, you mean?
during the tour, she doesn't know that yet, but I'm going to ask her to unclick something. It's been quite because it's an old house, so the wiring has been replaced mostly, but there's like 1/3 of the house is on one circuit, so it gets a little crazy for me sometimes. So I have things wired in different places, but it works. It's still going on now, so I'm happy.
So we're still rolling up the snowman stairs, okay?
Another snowman right here, and then this is a really peaceful tree. It's an angel tree.
And you had workers up here helping.
I did have lots of
your
workers
little
up there.
elves,
I had lots of
yes.
elves, and I had an elf also do the nutcracker tree as well. And here's a whole thing I did this year also. I do a Halloween tree every year, so I decided to turn it then into the Nightmare Before Christmas tree, so I didn't have to put it away. That's the way kind of double dipping.
It's kind of creepy.
It's a little creepy, I know, and I put Miss Nature Crystal character I created that I'm working on. But then here comes where it's really important for kids, because kids love Christmas, as you know, and one of the biggest things is Frozen this year. Well, this year, last year, and like the last 5 years. So I made an Olaf tree this year. So
Tell us how you made it.
It's very simple, actually, because all I do is get this thing for $5, this little head, and if I could turn it on, it's being persnickety. Oh, there it goes. I just got a white tree.
Super cool.
I just went and grabbed these sticks outside my yard for his arms. Do a couple of black balls for that. Found a little one, put it on here, and I just put a little scarf on him. And there's Olaf.
That's
He's
really
kinda cute.
great. Yeah, he is cute.
Yep. And then you're heading into the winter wonderland because we have the frozen tree goes right here, and there's a little frozen village. And I know what I did is just took white lights, and I want kids to make wishes when they come. Because it's important to wish at this time for all of us, not just kids. Some adults hate it though, but you know, that's for tall people. So as you're going down this hall, you'll just see a lot of Frozen stuff. Because again, kids love Frozen. But again, one of the things I've been focusing on lately is Disney trees, because I think that's really important, because kids, again, love that. So right in front of you is a Beauty and the Beast tree. Very important thing, very loving thing. And I had fun last night because I had bought a white tree, I thought, but it ended up being actually a snowman tree. So last night I put it together, and he's really cute. It was really complex to put it together, but I got it done. This is around 2 in the morning last night. Monsters, Inc.'s a great cartoon, so we have a Monsters, Inc. tree. And now we're getting into more Disney. We have our Finding Nemo meets a little
Dory.
Dory, thank you, Finding Dory. I was going to say Finding Ellen, but that's not it. And then there's the Minion tree, and then there's a new one this year, which is a Little Mermaid tree. Because little kids love the Christmas stuff like that.
Someone asked if you had a favorite tree, but I think you said the dining room
I said
tree
the
with
dining
your
room tree.
family ornaments.
And I like the friendship tree, and I really encourage you to do the same thing. Is like maybe take a picture of your friends at holidays and make a little ornament. It's very simple. You just buy these cheap little ornaments and you put them in. Don't buy the really expensive ones that are like $5 each. You get these little plastic things.
You're talking about
Nice
frames that.
frames. Don't spend a lot of money on those.
Yeah.
And I have a little segment on that. I'll be on YouTube. So coming in here is my den. And I call this my TV room because I watch TV in here. So what I did is I made a lot of trees that are related to the films of the 1930s. So that's It's a Wonderful Life tree. And I have some of the memorabilia from that. And then if you even look down here, It's a Wonderful Life village. This is when somebody's a real, collector. And that's It's a Wonderful Life village, including you are now in Bedford Falls. And it also includes poor George's car when he wrecks it against the tree, and then he learns out what life's really about. But they have all the classics there. One of my favorite movies is The Wizard of Oz, and that's an all Wizard of Oz tree with Glinda sitting on top. And last year, I asked my viewers, what tree do they want this year? So I did a poll, and the most votes came for a Harry Potter tree. So there it is right there. There's a Harry Potter tree. Again, I actually did, these were 10 for $1. So I'm not spending a lot of money on my trees. You got to remember that because that's expensive.
And when you learned you were doing Harry Potter, you got some gifts.
I did get some.
So,
This is
yes.
actually a nice gift from friends.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of nice ones, but you're going to see if you look closely. I took like these very plain, these are like 10 for 10, something like $1 each. And I just got pictures from an old book I found in a dollar store and cut out their pictures and a sorting hat I borrowed. Then this year I also have a new elf tree because people love the movie Elf, so that's that. I'm a kid of the 60s and 70s in terms of Christmas stuff, and I made a TV tree. We lost Penny Marshall this year, Laverne and Shirley. So it's kind of, but I have all these different ornaments. Went to Mayberry and got this one, the fictional Mayberry. A little Hollywood tree. Everybody's favorite movie, A Christmas Story, with the leg lamp. I've never seen so many leg lamps in my life. One of my favorite movies, again, I'm a classicist, is White Christmas. So that's a white Christmas tree. And I try and collect other things that go on with the holidays because there's like the piano section, and this is probably gonna be off key. Let's see if this goes. See how he sounds. He will sing, I promise. His mouth's not gonna move though, because it. All right, his voice used to sing. Now, I wonder if you guys know that Miracle on the 34th Street was actually a book written by Valentine Davies. So right up over here is it's a Miracle on the 34th Street tree. So on one of my posts said you should read a Christmas book, and this one would only take you probably about a couple hours to read. So it might be something to think about in the future. Got elves from my childhood. When I was a little boy, I used to put my foot in there. People are saying, you were a little boy? I doubt it. And then there's Miracle on 34th Street. This one is just a vintage old tree. And then over here is a new one too. It's a Lion King tree. Again, one of the things I think is kind of fun is I got this ribbon for like 50 cents each. So I got 3 or 4 different types of ribbon. And then all I really did was I got these like plastic figurines, and I just glued little things on it. So they cost me 10 ornaments for like $10. And then I bought these cheap balls to add to it as well. And you could use stuffed animals on trees as well. So I think that's kind of pretty. And then we end with the Muppet Christmas Carol tree. You gotta love the Muppets. So again, this is a great place for movies and for kids to come visit and enjoy themselves.
Does the train work?
The train does work. Yes, the train definitely works. I'm not turning it on now because it'll go derailed. So we're gonna head now. We don't tend to like to show our bathrooms, but there's a bathroom, and I have a Mardi Gras tree in the bathroom because Mardi Gras has just come and went. And then let's go into one of the guest rooms.
Hasn't come yet.
Oh, we haven't gone into Lent. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm in my wrong holiday. So over here we have another of my crazes called Miss Christmas. There's a children's book I've written about that. That's going to hopefully come out someday. And then I'm a big Hollywood and Broadway aficionado, so this is all Broadway ornaments on this tree. Over here you have a New York City tree as well. And I just did this year. I found this little thing, and I thought, oh, I'll try it. So like the ball on top of the...
like Times Square.
Times Square. So I thought I'd try it. I'm not sure. I love candy, so we have a candy tree here. And of course, who could forget M&Ms at Christmas? So we have an M&M tree here as well. Down here is probably the quirkiest thing. I once was on a radio show, and I said, oh, I have an Andy Griffith Village. They're like, Andy Griffith Village. So this is actually Mayberry RFD, and you have poor Aunt Bee. Here's Andy and Opie, and Aunt Bee's down there somewhere. And so it's all the little famous things and where they lived. So that's kind of a fun village. People who are younger than, say, my age probably have no idea what I'm talking about. So then we're going to go on to the final floor. Now this year I decided to turn it into a candy cane lane. So this is all, I'm going to call it, and again, tall people don't do as well here. I'm not that tall, I'm only 5'10". So working our way up this way. These are just all trees, all candy canes. I think it's pretty. It's a little tight, but why not, right? This is the fun. I know my neighbor Kyle likes this one the most. A few more, another snowman comes up here. A few more trees. And we'll continue on. Now this is going to be a risk because I'm going to really quickly turn this on. And then it might blow. But it's okay because we're going to be done with the rest. So here I go.
Okay.
I think we have just enough time. Okay, good. So really quickly. So we have, this is a very peaceful tree to me because it is all ornaments of spirituality. That's a tree my students made me from 2010 to 2014. I'm a drama teacher. And then over here is another tree that the kids made me when I did a show called the Harvard Circus Fire Play. And I forgot to replace the LEDs on these. I got some work to do tonight still before people come. Again, it's just a very peaceful room for me because this is where I do my sleeping. And you gotta love, I love Lucy, and I thank Allison for buying that for me. That was very sweet of her. I'm a big Chip and Dale lover, so I have Chip and Dale. At Christmas time, I got a couple of nutcrackers and Chip and Dale.
How about shutting your light off?
Oh, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
That was very smart. Okay, got a couple more rooms to show you. This is, again, just kind of a polar bear tree. Now, this is my 1950s room. That's what I can describe it as. Now,
Oh, here's the upside down tree.
Yep, and it hasn't been decorated.
Yes.
But it will be. And
Oh, and the 50s
so it's a 1950s
swirling
silver.
light.
Yep. So I got that going, thankfully, to a friend who fixed it for me.
Part of your engineering department.
Yes. Because I need all the help in the world. And I found out my grandma Darling always used to have this kind of tree. She didn't like anything traditional. So I'm a big I Love Lucy. She makes me happy. She taught me timing as a director and as a writer. So this is my I Love Lucy tree. Really great tree. Again, this is all 1950s kind of work because the bubble lights are very big back in the 1950s as well. So I have my little bubble tree. And yeah, so this is a nice cozy room for people to come stay in because we've got lots of guests coming to visit over the next week, which is fun. Fun for me. There's old Scrooge. And now we're going to head into the last room in the house. And this room is now, it's the Star Wars, I call it, superhero room. Because a lot of my younger fans and friends like little Star Wars. So we got a little Darth Vader going on here. Again, it's just a black tree. I got a little mask, added little ornaments, and they're all in there. Little Star Wars stuff going here, a couple of nutcrackers, a little stormtrooper over here. And again, I have this thing where I have 3 trees now up at Halloween, and that's one I've been working on for Halloween. And this is Frankenstein. So it's got a little work to do because I have to work on the arms. I bought the arms and put the creepy red light on them. So that we're not going to put the creepy red light on them. Got his arms ready. I have to work on them. Uh-oh, we had a little drop down. And then here is a superhero tree. So again, I love superhero shows. So that's kind of one of my favorite trees. And I found these in like the dollar store for like, 10 for $1 or something ridiculously cheap.
So did you end up fixing the lasers? I know
yes,
you got.
Last year I had a younger man who told me so. This laser was on him, so it went on the right person. I haven't gotten his lightsaber
Okay,
yet.
gotcha. That's right, lightsaber.
So that's really the Christmas house for this year, 2018. I hope you've really been enjoying the tour, and I hope you share the tour with other people because I think they'll enjoy it. Again, you can check out my YouTube channel, which is Mr. Christmas WFP. No punctuation in between. I'm also on Facebook, Mr. Christmas WFP as well. So take a look at both of those channels. I have a lot of tips, a lot of things to do. Again, but though from the bottom of my heart, I wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. Be safe, be healthy, enjoy one another, and I hope to see you again.